University. Go Trojans.
Woo! Yeah.
I'm 23 years old. I'm a millennial. Our generation has been called a lot of things. Our generation tends to sometimes sit back. Our generation sometimes, is told that we're entitled, that we believe certain things, that we're lazy, that we don't care anymore, that the baby boomer generation, all them, they did all this stuff for us, and we do nothing. Well, I'm telling you right now that the millennial generation needs to stand up and needs to support Erick Wright. I think our entire team of millennials agrees with me when I say that. Let me give you some history about the 2nd Congressional District. 2nd Congressional District is all the way from Autauga County, Elmore County, bottlenecks in Montgomery, goes all the way down to Conecuh, all the way across to Houston and back up. 15 different counties that we have to go to as a grassroots effort. And it takes people like us, our team, it takes people like Empower Alabama. Let's give them a round of applause. They're a great group of people. And I'll tell you now that I don't have to tell you who we're up against. I don't have to tell you the money that we're up against. I don't have to tell you the power that we're up against, because you know. You know, in 2010, the Supreme Court said that money is speech, and you know that big business is behind our opponents. And I'm telling you now that that doesn't matter. What matters is that you get out and vote in November. What matters is that you give anything you can to this campaign. What matters is that you care. Because when you care, we'll win.
At school, I walked and minded my own business, and my friend Trey Lipscomb had said that I need you to meet this guy named Eric that wants to run for office. And he didn't tell me what particular office, but he just told me that he was running for office. And I was very eager, something new to take on, have a lot more of an intimate role, and to be a mover and a shaker in the politics. And so I met Eric. He told me what race that he was wanted to run, and a little bit background about himself and the political atmosphere in the district and whatnot. And so at that time, I was a little bit hesitant. And so I talked to Eric, and me and him had a real genuine, candid conversation. And I told him, hey, I think you may need to run for another race. And Eric was like, no, this is the race that I need to run. And at that point, I was just like, I need you to go home and think about it over the weekend. I'll call you. That day was Friday, so I'll call you Monday. And if you still want to run for the race, we'll talk it over. And he was like, okay, Steve, I'll call you. But he said, I can win this race. I said, okay, I understand. I feel your passion. It's resonating. But just go over the weekend and sleep on it. And so I had went home, and I sat down, and I thought about it all Friday, all Saturday, and I had woke up Sunday, and I said, this guy, he may be on to something. As I went through my research, I called him before Monday. I called him Sunday night. I said, let's meet. I think he may be on to something, and I want to be a part of it. And at that moment, the passion that this guy has for this district had spilled over into me. And at that moment, I became a believer in Eric and in this Erick Wright for Congress campaign.
I would tell you the biggest thing when Eric first came to me and said, man, I think I want to run for Congress. Me and all the calculated mind, I was like, Congress? Who are you? But he was very convinced and within his spirit and with his soul and convicted of what he wanted to do. And that became even further relevant when Mr. Wright had to make some tough choices in his life. Some really tough choices. As you know, Mr. Wright is a father, and he had to make some tough choices and decide between his career and running for Congress. Between figuring out, I know, food on the table every day, or going with my passion and serving the people of the 2nd Congressional District. And when he made the tough choice to say, you know what, I'm going to follow my heart, I'm going to follow my passion, I'm going to do what's right, is so synonymous with his name. It's by design, I believe. That's what sold me to say, you know what, whatever time I have, whatever dollar that I have, whatever talent that I have, I am going to go along with Erick Wright. And so, you only can measure a man in his sacrifice. And that's something he has really done, and he has put it all on the line, not just for him, but for all of us.
And so I think one of the greatest things that we did was that we knew that we were going to have to be grassroots. We knew that we were going to have to do the things that our current representative wasn't going to do, and we had to meet the people where they were in their environment. And so that's what we did. We started off with Meals on Wheels. We started off with civic organizations and just letting people know that they had a choice, they had an option, that we just didn't have to lay down and to do another 2 or 4 years of the same representative not fulfilling the needs of this Alabama 2nd Congressional District.
And when a Democrat, Republican, Tea Party, anybody in this district says, I want to meet Erick Wright, he doesn't say, well, see what happened was I couldn't figure out how to get there. No, he gets there. When union members are striking at 2 o'clock in the morning and he has to take money out of his pocket, these people are getting paid money out of his pocket to make sure they're okay. Erick Wright was there. And I think that the same thing I'm asking, measure this man in his sacrifice to his goal and to his dream and to this district and to his family. And then I'm asking you to measure your sacrifice and to sow into something of progressive and something that's going to change Alabama. Be it not, whether you believe it or not, it will change Alabama.
But then, like I said before, millennial generation, we kind of get lazy. In 2010, we didn't go out, and we saw what happened. Republicans took back the House. Republicans have a supermajority in the state legislature, and they gerrymandered our district, and they passed these unconstitutional laws that try to restrict people's rights. And I tell you now that has to change. In 2014, we all have to get out and vote. We all have to change that. We have to break the supermajority, and we have to have the Democrats take back the House. Now I'm going to tell you that I love America. My mother's right there, Mary Battaglia. She is a first-generation Italian. Her parents came over from Italy. And that just speaks to what this country stands for. This country stands for immigrants. This country stands for anyone who wants to come here and wants to live a better life. The Statue of Liberty does not say, give me your strongest, give me your smartest, give me your best, give me your brightest. No, the Statue of Liberty says, give me your weak, you're poor, you're hungry, you're tired, huddled masses yearning to be free. And it doesn't matter if you're white, black, brown, yellow, anything. If you want to come to America and you want to be free, the door should be open. And Erick Wright is someone that wants to open the door for them. Erick Wright wants to stand up for all people. No matter creed, color, anything. He wants to stand up for all people. And I tell you, when I met Erick Wright, I saw him on Facebook, and something came to me. I was like, you know what? I've been kind of jaded with politics over the past couple years, but Erick Wright is the man that I want to get behind and the man that I want to help. And I want all of you to help him get to Washington in November. So please, in November, just think right. Thank you, everyone.
And so at that moment, the just me and Erick sitting in the back room, along with Nick Andrews, we became a millennial political machine. And so we had a political scientist, we had a finance guy, we had an insurance guy, IT guy, and these are all millennials that were just coming out of college, hungry, passionate, wanting to put their broad stroke on the world to make a difference here at home for all the people that look like us, that had the same issues as us. It's that we're willing to go and we're willing to tap into resources that some typical politicians tend not to, and that's minority groups. That's the Latino, that's the African American community, that's the rural areas where, when we go there, we're probably the first time that they've ever seen a politician come out and give a campaign speech or a stump. And so the thing is like I said earlier, it's like we let people know that they're important, that we're just more than a sign on the road or a yard sign or a television commercial. We are a warm-blooded individual that you can shake our hands, sit down and eat a meal with, have a phone conversation, text me, email me, FaceTime me. That if you are laying in the bed in the middle of the night and something comes across your mind, that you can pick up the phone, you can send an email, you can send a letter, and you'll get a warm-bodied response. How am I assessing this campaign is that win, lose, or draw, what I want to take away is that we had a choice. We had a choice, because without Erick, it wouldn't have been a choice. We had a choice, we had options, and at the end of the day, we're going to run a race to the end. And we're going to let the people of Alabama's 2nd Congressional District know that if it's something that is needed, we will listen. And not only will we listen, we will act, and we will come up with solutions, bona fide solutions. Not just talking points, not just promises, not just vain words. When Erick wins, Erick will only be a reflection of Alabama's 2nd Congressional needs. That's all he'll be. A reflection. A reflection in the pool. Your needs are my needs. Your problems are my problems. Because at the end of the day, the only people can vote Erick in are the people back home. As simple as that.
Again, November the 4th, just think right, just vote right, just write the check out the right, and everything is going to be all right.